Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another podcast. Back in the GTA with a third episode out here. We got a special guest for you guys. First ever podcast he's done. So we feel honored to have him on this platform. Given
man.
what we have been trying to put out there. So introduce yourself, man. Sim. You go as Sim the realtor.
Sim the realtor, yeah.
As everybody know you by, but introduce you to the audience that might not know about you, but people out in Edmonton or even Alberta, all around, people that are watching it, just give us a glimpse of who you are, man.
Sure thing. Name is Summan. I go by Sim the realtor on social media. I'm a real estate entrepreneur. I got a renovation company, a real estate agency, real estate team. We do project management, property management, just a bunch of real estate businesses.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's amazing. That's the one thing that we're trying to put out to our audience more and more is kind of diversifying your business profile. And from what you have spoken to, you're in the rental business. You have your management company. You you also have a background from business side where you actually have, as you mentioned, you did your kinesiology.
Correct.
So you have covered actually different segments at a young age, you were saying, man, because you're fairly young for given the success you have achieved. Because man, it's funny as it sounds, like people don't even think about the things that you have accomplished or even come close. And for you to accomplish all the fleet in such a small period of time, it speaks to your testament and your character of who you are as a person, man, and that go-getter in a sense. And then, now you have another person, a little one that you have in your life that you're responsible for. Now your mindset, your mind kind of shifts.
It shifts, yeah. You have a different purpose in life. You
Exactly.
start chasing the money in the businesses. You start focusing on your family.
Exactly. So, we're going to go through that whole journey, how originally starting from, her journey from kinesiology and what shifted everything, So
Sure.
First thing you want to start off with, obviously your childhood, how you grew up and what kind of environment. Obviously we come from first immigrant parents as coming from India and everything and giving us a lifestyle that, that they want better from, what they had and give us just better a lifestyle so we can have something better than what they had. So, take us through that and how that kind of made you who you are today, that earlyhood, what your parents taught you, and what the essentials that you learned from your parents.
Sure thing. So my parents came to Canada in 1994. Immigrant parents, obviously. And these guys, they decided to pick up a job as fast as possible to start paying the bills, start paying the rent. So they went and started working at factories.
Yeah.
My dad worked as a United Steel welder. He worked at a couple of different companies. My mom also worked at like a factory for auto parts.
Yeah.
Very hard, aggressive type of jobs. You have to be physically fit, and you're just, wearing and tearing your body away. So
100%.
at a young age, I saw that these guys were putting in such an intense amount of work, but for what reason, right? It wasn't just to live and survive in Canada. It was for us to have a better future. So they would always tell me this too.
Yeah.
They would always instill it into me that, listen, we're working very hard, so that way you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to work hard. You can work smart. So as soon as you possibly can, I want you to start self-educating, educate yourself in school so you can get ahead and possibly get into a business, if anything, or become a doctor, a lawyer, anything you possibly can to make more money. You don't want to be like us when you're older, right? So that's what it was. Lived on rent, shifted houses a bunch of times. So we moved, I think it was 6 times, because when you first started off, you would live on rent for the cheapest amount, and those neighborhoods wouldn't be the best, right?
Yeah.
Like they were crazy neighborhoods. People stealing our basketballs and our bicycles and shit breaking in. Like it was next level, bro. So that's why we moved so much, because we had to slowly level up. Leveled up. Fast forward, I was in North Park Secondary School. This is in Brampton as well. This is when I started choosing my courses for school. Again, I talked to my parents. I'm like, what should I pursue in the future? They obviously couldn't give me too much guidance because they had no idea what would make the most amount of money, what would be easy for me, what would make me happy. So like, what the jo kuch tenu theek lagda tu wahi kari. I said, "Chal, theek hai, no problem." Started doing some research online, and I'm like, I want to become a doctor. And then I realized that the path was way too long. I'll be graduating at 31, 32. What life is that?
Yeah.
Then I started looking into accounting, and I'm like, okay, accountants make $45,000 to $65,000. Senior accountant makes like what, $80,000 to $120,000. But time, takes too much time.
Way too long, yo.
So I'm like, okay, you know what? What do I like? I was into sports. I was into physio and chiro and all that. So I'm like, let's pursue that. So then I chose all the courses to go ahead and go to Brock University. Did my bachelor's degree in kinesiology. After that, I had the crossroads to go to either massage, chiro, or physio. And at the time, to be honest, the physio and chiro school allowances was difficult. Like you needed 85, 90% average to get into. So I did my massage therapy first. Did an accelerated course in Toronto. Took me 13 months over there. Finished that. But at this point in time, I had a major realization, bro, that in Canada, it's going to be very hard to live and survive and thrive. That me making $65,000, $75,000, $85,000 per year doesn't mean jack. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't even matter if I got my chiro and my physio afterwards. I was making $100,000, $120,000 per year. Was that enough to retire my parents?
Yep.
No. Was it enough to start a family, buy a home, buy the dream cars, go on vacations 2-3 times a year? No, not even close.
Yeah.
So obviously at this point I'm at like a big contradiction. I'm like, am I doing the right thing, bro?
Yeah.
Am I gonna get stuck in life? I don't want to be like everybody else, like the sheep.
Yeah. In the rat race, you know.
Yeah, in the rat race, bro.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's just a big rat race. Some people are small rats, some people are big rats, right? And I was like, I don't want to be a big rat. I want to exit the game altogether. One day I picked up a book. It was Rich Dad Poor Dad. Learned about assets and liabilities. Everyone's story. You pick up the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Right? Also, you got Mac, okay, how do I do this? It's too hard for me to buy real estate. I got no money. Started learning about stocks, got into stocks ASAP. I started doing penny stock trading, day trading, swing trading. Learned that, picked up the TD Waterhouse. I was just going at it.
Yeah.
And so at this point, I was 22, 23 years old, doing the stock trading on the side. I was making good money, $1,000 a day, $2,000 a day. Some days I'd lose $4,000 or $5,000. It was just up and down. Too many swings. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
At the same time, my 4th year of university, I was like, I learned about Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't have the money to buy property, so let's kind of get in. This is going to help me retire my parents by using the assets to pay for the liabilities, to buy back my time, to buy back the parents' time and all that. I started the property management company then. I remember I put it on Google and I got like 3 people calling me off the bat.
Crazy.
And then I started the renovation company at the same time too. Started hiring a bunch of people, students, to start doing little jobs, kitchens, washrooms, things like that. So I started stacking up the money really quickly. Got my realtor license at the same time. At that time, it was online, Warrior College. It took me 6 or 7 months. Not as long as right now.
It's not long,
Exactly. So you can see I had the entrepreneurial mindset from the beginning, right? Just started everything right off the bat. And then I started making TikToks. I don't know if you guys remember the original TikTok. I used to jump around like a little girl and shit.
Just go crazy.
Yeah, just jump around making random TikTok, thinking I'm going to get clients like that. Whatever. I was bold enough. And then I started building my name. Reputation kind of started building. And my videos went viral because nobody else was doing it at the time. And the rest is pretty much history, bro. Scaled all the businesses. Mom and dad got them out of the factories. Brought them to Niagara with me. Bought a big property on the hills. Nice cars. Multiple businesses. I'm just chilling, enjoying life right now. And so I think I'm here because I was just so disciplined in getting my parents out of that lifestyle, getting them out of the hardship. And that's what kind of motivated me and got me to this point.
You know, one thing I do want to point out is like you having the mindset, like you said, like 21 or 22.
Yeah.
Like that mindset is very hard to come by these days. Yeah. Because you know why? Like what you resonated with, why you want to work hard and why you wanted to take your parents out of the hardship is because they didn't have any, they worked labor jobs, 12 hours, 18, like they worked crazy amount of hours.
Correct.
But thing is now that narrative is shifting because now you see parents that are certain are well off. They're not as much as in struggle. So that kid doesn't have the same motivation to strive. Like, you know what, I want to do something better. Where do you think that lack of, motivation, do you think it stems from the fact that we live in such a short, attention span, the social media, or is it the parents doing? Because at the end of the day, we feel like no matter our next generation to come, they should do something better. And our next PD to come, we say, they want to take it to the next level. But now we're seeing this more like, I don't want to say like weak, but almost like they petty themselves. But like, man, his life's too hard. Like, I'm depressed, or, yesterday I didn't get, my coffee was made wrong. Like, life is hard. Like, what the fuck y'all talking about?
I know. People
like, it's true. Where do you think that shift happened? Because like now you see this way more, like more and more.
I think it happened because of the introduction of social media.
Yeah.
People have, their dopamine sensors are fried at this point in time, bro.
It really is,
man. Watch like a quick YouTube video. You watch like these shorts, you watch these reels and IG. You get everything that you want to look for within 3 to 5 seconds. So what that does to your brain is it sends off signals that I want a reward immediately.
Really,
and that's why what you just mentioned, people are becoming weak and soft is because they want to start a business and they expect to make $1 million like that.
Right away.
Yeah. There's no patience anymore. Because of the lack of patience, people's moods are changing. People are becoming more emotional. They cry and they complain way too much.
And that's the crazy part too. Like now you think about it, like it boggles my mind because I fell victim to this. Like where you're on your phone and you literally have scrolled through it, like hour or two has gone by.
You really
and you realize you're like, yo, like this thing has my mind hooked.
Yeah.
And I can't put it away. And like even after 10 seconds, I pick it back up again.
Yeah.
It's like an addiction that you can't get away from. And I tell people, I'm like, man, this phone, like the social media, let's like any type of technology that you're addicted to, get away from it. Have something that, I don't know, deters you from, be like, I don't know, whether it's working out, whether it's going to seminars, be out in the real world. Yeah. Put yourself in a position where you're away from this addiction.
What you just mentioned is probably the biggest step that people fail to take. It's the realization.
Yeah.
See how you just said that you keep picking up your phone over and over again? I just recently chatted with my wife, I think it was 2.5 months ago, about the fact that I always see her scrolling on her phone. And she's like, I'm not. There's no way. You don't know, like, babe, you know what? तू अपना iPhone call, go to settings, go to screen
usage.
Time.
Yeah.
Usage मैंने दिखा. It was 35 hours a week. I'm like, you're doing a full-time shift on your phone. Yeah. You're like a WhatsApp auntie all of us. And then you do a full-time shift there, and then obviously you have no time to focus on yourself.
Anything else.
On the gym and anything else. It doesn't make any sense. Like you mentioned, you have to have things that deter your attention. Like if you're picking up your phone, like I had the exact same problem. When I open up my phone and I go to any social media app, it says, how much time do you want to spend on Instagram now? And are you sure you want to go on? And every single time I go on, it makes me wait 60 seconds to think about it before I even access it. Wow. And in that time, I realize I'm about to waste my damn time.
Yeah.
By me doing so, I saved to myself another 20 to 25 hours, which I put back into my business to make more money. That's it. Save yourself time. Reinvest. Buy back your time, and you're good to go, bro. You get to live your life. And
well, it's not even it's just dopamine rush too. Yeah. But do you think though it's because that people don't really have anything else really going on in their life besides doing just a regular 9 to 5, just having a regular salary that's just coming in. So then they resort to social media as a way of comfort.
That could be it, bro. But like some people are okay doing the 9 to 5. It's just that in their off times, yeah, you're right. They don't have enough things to do. They don't have a dog to take on a walk. They don't have a family to tend to. They don't have mom and dad close by to go say hello, hi to. They don't have no other hobbies, no business to run, no nothing. Yeah. So obviously you got to fill that void, right? Otherwise people get depressed.
Even like we were just talking about how like, I want to say it's motivation, but it was the fear of like, even when we were just talking in the car too. Yeah. We had a whole nother podcast on that, but we were talking about like, okay, well, like how are we going to build a legacy, right? And the thing is like, we're kind of talking to how to become a man, like a real man, the amount of sacrifice they need to make and where that sacrifice begins. Yeah. Like for us, I mean, for both of us, we were talking about businesses, our past and stuff like that. Majority was just in our 20s too.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. The amount of failures that we have for our businesses, the stuff that we had to learn, the skill sets, the amount of shit that we were trying to build with little to no money. Yeah. Right? And now it's to the point where you have a family, you can take care of your family, you can retire your parents, you have a house on the hills, you're living a dream at this point. So the thing, I mean, like kind of going back to our point here is just like, okay, well, if these kids are really wanting to pursue that type of life, then it's like, well, you have to sacrifice a bit.
You have to sacrifice.
You gotta work on your shit. You gotta have the patience to build. And without achieving, like, if you want to achieve those goals, you have to do all this stuff. You can't be hitting up the clubs and bars and wasting fucking, all this bullshit.
But see, that's the issue, right? Like, I talk to 50 to 100 people on a daily basis because it's my job. And the main, like, I ask them all the time, why have you not taken any step? It's because 99.9% of them are afraid. They're too fearful to take that first step. They're afraid of making mistakes. Yep. You and me, we made more mistakes than anybody has ever attempted in 10 years within like 3-4 months. Bro. Yeah. That's why you have the podcast. I got the businesses. That's why we're out here making the money that they're dreaming of. Is because we're not afraid to fall on our ass and get back up. And we do it multiple times a day, multiple times a week. Bro.
Heck, the biggest thing is that because we face those failures, we're not like down about it like, oh, fuck, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. Like, you know what? It's fine. Failures. All right, on to the next one. You jump right onto it. We try to learn ways and like we learn from our failures and we try to see ways that way we can succeed our businesses
exactly. Too. So nu pata hai, bro, if we like in my field too, if you pick up the phone and you call 50 people, you'll get one deal. You get one deal, you get $10,000. If you think like that, I need to fail 49 times for me to make $10,000. It changes your framework.
It does. And you know the one thing I do want to touch upon is, okay, let's say someone who is coming up. Let's say you're coming out of high school, you're deciphering. Because now there's so much information out there. Be like, now we know, like, this what's one of the narrative out there. school is a scam. Like, like we hear it all the time, right?
Yeah.
The modern day school is a scam. That's what we call it, right? So now, let's say a kid that's coming out of high school. Let's say a kid that's growing up in Brampton. Now they're like, oh, I want to be like Sam. Let's say he does want to get into properties, or I want to build my own house, or whatever it is. So let's say you're at an early young age where you don't have the equity and the capital to get into it. What are some tips and you can, give to the youth out there that, you don't need immense amount of money or cash on hand to start investing? You can do small things and build up to a point where you can maybe own a house, sell a house, flip a house, build up the equity to a point where, you can do that. So what are some tips and tricks you can give to the people that, can start up their entrepreneurial, side at an early age?
Yeah, so if you want to get from point A to point Z, you just have to acquire as many skills as you possibly can within the shortest period of time. When we talk about college and university and all that, I do suggest you still go. Yep. The main reason is because, no, it's not going to make you rich, but it teaches you how to socially interact with people. Yep. You see how awkward people are nowadays, bro?
Yeah, man.
After the pandemic, people can't even say hello, hi. They can't make eye contact with anybody either. So going to college and university and interacting with people on a daily basis, every single class, talking to your professors, helps them open up. It helps build their confidence. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, in any business that you start, if you're not confident, you're gonna fail. Confidence is number one. So go to school, build your confidence, talk to as many people as you possibly can, build as many relationships as you possibly can. And on the side, in your free time, you will have free time in college and university. On your free time, start scaling your businesses. And I know you don't have enough money. Even right now, just recently, I'm helping out a guy named Just Meet, the Just Meet bot team. Shout out to you, brother. He just bought a condo in Niagara Falls. He's gonna be making about $4,000 to $5,000 on a monthly basis. And he asked me, Sim, I'm running out of capital. How can I keep acquiring more businesses in real estate without so much capital? I told him the exact same thing. It's rental arbitrage. You rent a unit, you put furniture in there. Sure, you don't have $20,000 to $25,000 for the furniture. Just rent out the furniture, put it in the unit, re-rent it on Airbnb. There's so many platforms you can put it on. You'll be making a spread of about $1,000 to $2,000 per month per property in profit per month. Where else can you do that? Right? So you just have to make a game plan, or just literally just message us, DM us, and we'll tell you how to do it. It's not as hard as you think it is. But the first step is contacting us so we can give you a game plan. Yeah,
I think you nailed it on the head, reaching out. Yeah. I think a lot of people are just afraid, like, oh, like they're gonna think I'm a clown, or I don't have, because a lot of people do have that. They think that, but like, yo, this guy's gonna just hit me up. He ain't got nothing on him. I tell people, don't worry about people's perception, because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It never matters.
At the end of the day, people's perception about you, the way who you are, it has nothing to do with where you're going to be in life.
Yeah, exactly. You know I have a good friend, Napri Hasipuri. This guy's hilarious. Every time I'm about to do something, he's like, it's so funny. And I broke it down. I'm like, he's so right.
He's so right.
We're gonna die one day. Why the hell does it matter if Santok or this guy or Satan is talking shit about me? Doesn't matter. He's not gonna pay for my bills. He's not gonna pay for everything. I'm gonna die in the next 60, 70 years. Does it really matter? Who cares, bro? Do what you want to do.
Yeah. And and people don't realize that. It's like, stop boxing yourself to other people's opinion. Because once you stop doing that, you start opening up to the world. As you said, reaching out is the first thing.
Yes.
Like for me, the hardest part, like I always wanted to get into, properties. First thing, it was just taking that risk. I knew I had enough capital saved up. It was just that risk. I was afraid. I'm like, yo, what if it doesn't work out?
What if?
I'm like, what if I put in $50K like down payment on a lot, and then like after a year, like nothing happens, and now I'm sitting on a lot, it doesn't even work out. Yep. What am I going to do? Right.
Exactly.
So for me, then I stopped looking at from the scared perspective. I'm like, it's okay. What if? I'm like, it's okay. I'll maybe lose a little bit of money. I'll just sell it at par. It's okay. Maybe I'll learn something through that process, even if the lot doesn't do well. Maybe I just sold the lot itself.
Exactly.
It's okay. I sold it at par. I learned something at least. I met people. I made connections. Yeah. So I had to get that fear out of my way. Like I recently purchased my first lot ever, so I get that fear out of the way. I was just too scared. Like for me, I always been in different. I've been into real franchising. Then I recently started my insurance company and everything. So now it's like I'm opening up to a world where like I'm not as scared.
Exactly.
Because now I have seen. I'm like, so what?
So what?
Yeah, like
you nailed the point, bro. It doesn't matter if you fail or you make money or this and that. You learned something. Yeah. And now you learned that skill set. You're gonna be guaranteed to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and not millions in the future, bro.
That's so true. And then, as I said, it literally takes you $50K to start something. Like people think they need A house is worth 600,000. They're like, no, I need 200,000 down payment. Like, no, you don't.
You won't even believe it. Some people don't even know what a mortgage is. One guy messaged me. He's like, I need $600,000 to buy a $600,000 house, right? I'm like, you get a mortgage. He's like, what's a mortgage? It surprised me. Bro, I was laughing in the moment. Then I paused. I'm like, damn, they don't teach you this in school, bro. They don't teach you taxes. They don't teach you bookkeeping.
You know, that's so. I took accounting, right? Okay, it's funny. I dropped out of doing my CPA. So while I was doing my CPA, one day I was doing my CPA. I'm looking out the window, dead ass. I was looking out the window, and this thought went in my head: what am I doing here? Dead ass. Like I knew my first. I'm like, what are my parents going to say? I'm like, I don't even care at this point.
Yeah, who cares?
I'm like, why am I here? Where is this getting me?
Yeah.
And I dropped out right then and there. I told my dad, I'm like, yo, I can't do this. I don't see myself doing this. Yeah. I'm like, I've been in the firm. I don't want to do this. I don't want to work at a firm. I have already done it for way too long. It's only 6 months. It's nothing. But I'm like, I don't see myself envisioning myself in 3 years, 4 years. As you said, working the ladder where, okay, I start at 70, then 80. And then like 5, 10 years, I finally get to the point where I'm making 100 to 120. Yeah. But at what cost? At what deteriorating cost? My mental health to work at something that doesn't even progress my life.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So it's just shifting that mindset of like, I think a lot of people just get scared, but ask enough people, as Sim said, just hit them up. There's no such thing as dumb question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. No. I tell people all the time, you asking, imagine you just hit him on DM. You know, he might not reply today, but like whatever it is, tomorrow, whatever, he'll reply. He'll be like, hey bro, like maybe you should do it this way. No one's out here with malice intentions to be like, no, you're a clown. No one's here for that. So just first step is just asking people, but like reach out, as Sim said, DM them, hey brother, like I'm looking to invest in something. You're gonna be like, hey, save up like 10, 20K. Exactly. And then come back to me.
It's that simple, bro. You ask a dumb question, you'll be smart tomorrow. You don't ask a question, you're stupid for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Hey, that's bars.
It's true. Why do you think though? Remember how you just mentioned that a lot of people are afraid to take the first step because they're afraid of what people are going to perceive them to be. Like they think, oh, they nachda firda TikTok hote jananiyan this and that. You know, people talk crap. How do you get over that? How do you get over the fact of people pleasing?
Yeah.
What would you guys suggest?
Like we talked about
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but some people
they do. Yeah,
99% of people. Oh, look, what is he gonna say? What is my chacha masi this and that gonna say about me jumping on TikTok and saying this and that?
I think the best thing is results.
Yeah.
Easiest thing to look at. I know there's a lot of people be like, oh, like for yourself. People think, oh, this guy's jumping around on TikTok. He's just clowning himself. Yeah. But guess what? On the flip page, you look at the results that came from it.
Exactly.
Right. So now you look at the next page. And the next chapter is, oh shit, I made 100,000 in 2 months. Okay, more TikToks to come.
Exactly. The same people that are making fun of you at the beginning are the same people that when you actually make it are the ones that are asking for advice.
Exactly, bro.
The envy of this world is crazy.
I'll tell you guys, if you're taking that first step to jump on social media and to start posting content, whatever else it is, just do it. I get 15 to 20 million views on a monthly basis, and I promise you, I am getting much more hate than you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just don't be emotional. It doesn't matter. Like I said, right? So make your money now, enjoy your life, and spend time with your family.
Yo.
Yeah. Like, even if they make you cry, go cry in your G-Wagon and your Lamborghini. It doesn't really fucking matter. It doesn't matter, does it?
At least do it luxury.
Yeah. Do it like a luxury crime, bro. You kill it.
It's so funny. You know? But the one thing I do want to pivot off to is, obviously the business side. Like, I admire what you have accomplished. And you're 20, I want to say 8, 29?
28 now, yeah.
Right? And that's crazy, man. Like, to accomplish what you have done so far, it takes a the mental fortitude you probably have built within. It's not easy.
No.
Like knowing that like you have responsibilities for your parents because you have retired them. So you can't be like, oh yeah, like you can't forget about them tomorrow because at the end of the day, you're a responsibility now.
Your responsibility, yeah.
Right? Because you told your parents, like, I got you. So take us through like some of the mental battles and the hardship that you have, came along and how you processed it and how you kind of overcome it. And having your partner, as you said, I think is for a long time. I think she is in high school, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So having that alongside with you, how did you progress through all that, man? Because it's not easy, man. It's not.
I would say, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be Sim the realtor and this entrepreneur if it wasn't for my wife. It's because I would get distracted a lot. You know the whole term, you see the woman in the red dress and you start chasing her?
It? Yep.
I was like that. Not about chasing girls. I'm saying I'm chasing too many opportunities. I wasn't focused. You have to be disciplined in one thing. That's the rule of one. You got to scale up one business and one business only and stop trying to focus on so many different things. When I first started off, I was doing, I don't even know how many different businesses, 6 to 7 different micro businesses, making 20,000 here, 40,000 here, 30,000 here. and I was just more stressed out and making less money. Wasn't hitting my true potential. And then my wife would always be like, Sim, you're doing too much. You need to focus on the one thing and the one thing that you're good at. And like she would always kind of be my filter in life. And she would get rid of all the negative energy, get rid of all the stupid businesses, stupid opinions of mine. And she would be like, this is good. You focus on this. Yeah. And so like having somebody there that's going to remind you of what's worth it and what's not worth it, and somebody to ground you at the end of the day is very important, because you will get lost in this entrepreneurial journey. It happens a lot.
Yep.
That's probably her calling me right now.
It's so true.
And and honestly, like, I met Suki, what was it, in grade 8, to be honest.
Wow,
So,
that's crazy.
It was very funny because I was in badminton team with her brother, Dilpreet.
Yeah. Okay.
And I messaged him one day, and at this point in time, I'm not, like, you know how you're looking at me right now, guy, then I sue bug and this and that. I didn't have a daddy at the time, nothing. I was Mona. I had a haircut.
Oh, wow.
I had a chin strap like Gita Zeldar. It was like just, like, imagine 6-pack abs and yellow highlights and black highlights. Like, bro, I was just a next looking kid, a gangster guy. Fights all the time, just stupid things in middle school and high school, right? So I messaged Dilpreet, I'm like, when's practice? And this is when Suki, my now wife, messaged me saying, why are you talking to my brother? What are you doing? Why are you messaging him? I'm like, yo, relax.
I ain't doing nothing.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just asking when the practice is. Anyway, this is how we started talking. Yeah. And we didn't actually get together until it was grade 12, the beginning of grade 12, the summer vacation before grade 12. We started connecting. We started realizing that we had a lot of things in common. We shared a lot of passion for things. And we're like, you know what? This could possibly work out.
That's so funny.
Want to be my girlfriend? And that's pretty much it, bro.
That's all she wrote.
We got together, and honestly, I will tell you that she is the reason why I was so focused on business. Because, you know, when you're in high school and university, college, whatever else it is, your focus does go towards partying and girls and this and that.
It goes that way.
Yeah. So, obviously, if I didn't have to focus all my energy on finding a wifey and a girl, I was focusing on building businesses and focusing on my future. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying to everybody to go find a girl all of a sudden so you can become an entrepreneur. It doesn't really work like that, right? Yeah. I got very lucky in my instance. But I'm saying that when you're doing something, you got to give it your all. You got to focus hardcore. Don't just 50-50 and half-ass everything that you do, because you're not going to get anywhere.
Well, even just talking about just relationship in itself, like how we compare how it was traditionally, now it is now. Yeah. We were talking about it earlier. Like, imagine, let's just say you weren't married, you were single, you're trying to find a girl now. But your stuff is established.
Yes. Okay.
This where I'm getting.
I'm this Summan.
Yeah.
And I'm single.
And you're
oh my god. Oh my goodness.
But what I'm saying is like
chaos, bro. Chaos in front of your house.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like the fact that you have you met your wife before. Yeah. You had everything. You know, you had that relationship. You were able to focus on your business. Like what the issue now is that. I've talked to actually this with one of the boys, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" I was like, he was like, "Man, there's never a right time. Like, I can't find." He's like, "I can't find a woman." Right? He's like, "Oh, later on when I'm established and stuff." I was like, "Bro," I'm telling you, there's never a right time." Right? Right time, yeah. I would rather find someone. I was like, I would rather find someone now, knowing that she's there for me. Yes. Rather than when I have stuff established, you just don't know if she's actually there for money.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Right, so I don't know. Give us advice for the kids.
Yeah, I'd say that's gonna be difficult, bro. Because you're looking for a girl who's gonna, cherish you, take care of you, spend time with you. Some guys want the traditional woman, but she can't be the traditional feminine woman unless you're the masculine man.
Yeah.
The majority of the men are not focusing on the 4 pillars of life, right? The health, the wealth, the love, and the happiness. Yeah. No offense to everybody here, but you can't be a broke boy and expect to get the perfect wifey. She's looking to nest, and you ain't built a nest. Yep. So why would she come to you, right? Yep. You got to have the best body. You got to focus on your diet. You got to have a spiritual connection with Babaji. You got to have your businesses in place. You got to be making your money. You got to have a nice house. You got to have your cars. That's what I'm saying. For the boys, you got to focus on being more driven, finding your masculine energy, becoming more accomplished. And then you'll see the women will line up, and they'll line up nonstop.
Yeah.
The reason why it's so hard for so many guys to find the ideal woman is because your ideal woman doesn't exist, bro. You're looking for a girl who's going to cook and clean and take care of you and the kids and run a business and be an entrepreneur and what do you, you can't find a girl like that. Yeah. Like, if you want a traditional woman, you have to redefine what a traditional woman is. Yep. Yeah. Revisit your values.
Even it's like, let's think of the other perspective then. It's just like, okay, well, we actually had a podcast. You'll know what I'm talking about immediately. We were talking about relationships. I kind of told you in the car too about it. And it's just like, okay, well, there's that aspect that's just like, okay, well, if I have everything established, right? How do I know exactly if that girl's actually there for me and actually there for money? Because at the same time, it's very difficult to climb up. But how easy is it to come down then? Actually, you can lose everything. You can go broke again. If
you're talking about divorce and the prenup and all that stuff.
No, but not even that, man. And let's just say your business fails.
I want to talk about prenups, man.
Hey, let's not go there. We'll talk about it.
Because we never talked about prenups.
We never talked. But let's just say like everything fails. Because some idiot tends to like ruin your reputation or something.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, for us, it's different because like we're like, okay, it's just a failure. We can build ourselves up again. But it's just like, okay, how difficult it is to build up. The amount of X amount of years. Like, will that woman stay with you still?
Yeah, I mean, the action has to show, right?
Yeah.
Because like, as you progress, because if their actions align with what you're doing as you're progressing, that will speak volume. That's first and foremost. You can tell a lot by how they perceive you given what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
100. Like the way they talk about you, how they keep you grounded. As Sam said, that's the main thing. Your woman has to keep you grounded, and that's the main first and foremost. Especially if you're the bread earner, you're bringing everything in. Yeah. If they're incapable of even doing that, then what are we building here?
Exactly. And if you get a girl when you're worth nothing and she scales up with you, then you know she's a keeper.
That's the biggest thing.
When you've made it, like you said, if I'm the Summan right now and I was back in the dating game, how would I find? For me to judge a girl based on the fact that she's coming to me for my money, it's invalid because girls do want a guy he's made it. He's got nice cars, nice house. He's got money, cars, everything A to Z, bro. And it's a successful business because women want
security. That's security.
Yeah, it's security, bro. It's just basic human psychology. It's called polygamy where they need to date up. Yeah, they need to date up in the food chain. They're not gonna date a bum. It's just be honest.
That's so true.
So they need to do it. So a guy cannot judge a girl based on the fact that she wants to be with the guy that's successful and has money. That's normal for them to want to be safe and to be taken care of, right?
That's so
but
true.
you can tell when a girl's dressed in a certain type of way and she's wanting attention from everybody else and not from you. Then you can kind of tell that maybe she's got some bad,
there are some pointers on what type of woman, a man should look for.
Trying to get Sam in
type of characteristics.
You trying to get Sam in trouble, huh?
Suki, I'm sorry.
What would you say? Do you like? Let's say
honestly, bro, everybody's different.
Yeah.
I can only speak from my own experience. I wouldn't be too judgmental. I would find a girl who's got good values. She dresses good. She cares about family. She will have enough time to spend time with me. She wants to also travel the world with me. Maybe somebody who's a foodie. Yep. Just somebody that I can kind of connect with and have a deep conversation with. Everything else kind of doesn't really matter to me, bro. I don't care what she drives. I don't care about anything else. Maybe she has a good family. Yeah, that's
beautiful. Do you know how like the characteristics that you explained, right?
Yeah,
it's very simple.
Yes, very simple.
Very simplistic.
Very simple.
It doesn't need to be complex.
I'm complex.
But the thing is, like, the world is so complex now compared to before.
Simplicity is rare, though.
Yeah,
that's why everyone's pissed and everyone's depressed.
Everybody's confused. I don't know.
They're demanding like 20 different things from one girl. How?
Yeah.
You can't do that, bro.
You can't.
Yeah, I think main thing you kind of hit on the head is like morals and values, because that will lead you to kind of building your base.
Yes.
And 100%. Build up from there, as you said. And then, as we spoke about, like, we actually never touched on this subject ever, like prenups. Mm-hmm. Like in the Desi household, when have you ever heard about prenups? Ever?
I've never heard of anybody getting a prenup, bro.
How often do you hear about people talking about prenups now?
Yo, now, to be honest with you, I'm starting to hear about it a lot more.
Right?
But why do you think that happened all of a sudden?
I don't know.
Fear. It's fear.
You think because it's very common, bro. You can't do what you don't know. Yeah. Now you keep hearing about prenups. Like, people are going to watch this and start searching up what is a prenuptial agreement, this and that. Yeah. And when people become more knowledgeable, they're going to be like, I could potentially do this, right? Now, the guys who are insecure, obviously, they're going to be like, okay, you know what? I don't trust my girl, and I feel like my girl could possibly screw me over, so I'm going to get a prenup signed. The girls, obviously, some girls that don't have the right mindset, and they want to take your money, and they're going to look into this as well, and they're going to ensure that they don't sign a prenup, right?
Yeah.
So, again, it's just very important to figure out the morals and the values and what your future goals are.
But, I mean, I think another aspect I would say about it is that we sign a prenup anyways, but it's established by the state, by the government. We sign prenuptials anyways. Yeah. I think prenuptial, where it's benefit, I don't think it's really... I mean, women see it as a way like, okay, you're signing this as a sense of fear that you don't really see as serious in a relationship.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, okay, it's not about the relationship part. It's more in the sense that we have control on our what the conditions are in our relationship. Not in a relationship, but like that it's not in control in the government, it's in our own control, and we decide what we want to do.
Correct. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I think prenups is interesting because, like, for me, it's just like, if a woman is, as you said, it's there for you in the beginning, it makes sense because at the end of the day, she needs to feel protected in a sense where, like, you never know what can go wrong. You never know, right? But obviously, you can't have that fear in the back of your head, right? But at the end of the day, imagine if a woman does pour yourself into it, like looking from, we're talking about it as men's perspective, right?
Exactly.
But we don't know what a woman, like, because their biology is way different. Polar opposite in the way they work, right? So on their side, it's like, if I am there for the riding it out with you, that means they are sacrificing their, certain things that they want to do business, this, that.
Yeah.
Knowing what's better in the current state mind, right?
Exactly.
So would you think, like, you think that's a justifiable reason why people something they do want a prenup?
Honestly speaking, bro, it's dependent from situation to situation. Like, I have some clients, can't obviously mention the names, but their families are worth 100, 200, 300 million dollars. They got trucking empires, real estate empires.
Yeah.
And the reason why those kids sign prenups is to preserve the wealth their generations above have created. God forbid a girl just comes in and marries you and she divorces you, takes 50%, and the kid had assets underneath his own name that his dad, Bapuji, and everybody above put on his name. He's screwed. She's taking all of that. So you can explain in that method too, like, this is to preserve what my parents have. This is my parents' wish, not mine. But I'm signing this just so I can preserve their stuff. But babe, listen, whatever you and me build together, this is for us.
Exactly.
We'll do 50-50. We don't mind. I'm not leaving, you're not leaving. We're in this together, right? To the end.
Hey.
Explain like that. I don't understand why she would have an issue. She would have an issue if she's trying to take your parents' stuff. Other than that, no, which is good.
That's so funny. No,
but it's a very touchy topic, bro.
It is. I mean, it's not talked enough. I don't talked about enough in our community. I don't think. I don't hear much people talk about it at all. Actually, in an open environment where you can have these talks,
especially up in A too. I don't.
Because
we don't talk about
the reason why.
I mean, they're not even knowledgeable in that what it is. Actually. I mean, if you ask your parents what prenup is, they're like,
back then it was just a place from struggle.
That's a very common thing too. In Indian households, majority of the people don't know about things like what's a trust, what's a will. Like, I just explained this to one of my family members a month ago, and I'm like, do you have a will in place or do you have life insurance? Like, Ogi hundiya.
Bro,
I'm like, yo,
you don't understand. Like, I have my own company, right? Insurance company.
There you go.
Amount of people I bump into. A lot of them, they don't even know what the actual benefits of having these certain services at your hand at a certain time, desperate times. You don't know what the cost can arise. And just having these things is just it's a game changer. Like, even with my dad, the first time when I got into it, he's like, why are you doing it? He's like, you're spending just random like $200-$300 on a policy that you don't need. I'm like, how do you know that? I'm like, have you looked at, do you know what it is? He's like, no, he has no idea what the policy is. He's just nothing. I'm like, I want it to be given what the benefit is in the future because it will help protect my assets to a certain extent. It won't cover everything, but it'll cover a small amount of it. At least it'll provide that leeway for the next little bit. And then after that, whoever comes after me, it's there what they're going to make out of it, right?
Exactly. The life insurance is not even for you. It's for your family, right? And if you love your family, you should get it. You don't want to, like, imagine I just, God forbid, died tomorrow. My family had to take care of those millions of dollars in freaking mortgages. There's no way they're going to handle that. So if I die, at least everything's paid off and they have a little bit of spending money to reinvest. They're good to go. You don't do it for yourself. You do it for your family. But again, like since we're talking about it, we do suggest that majority of the people watching the podcast, you should educate yourself on trusts, wills, life insurances, and everything. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a life insurance policy, your family's gonna have a hard time. If you don't have a wills, then where are your assets gonna go? You don't know. Your kids are gonna fight. I've seen people fight over their mom and dad's worth. Like, I should get the good. I should get this car. I should get the vacation home. And they start. The siblings start fighting, and they're out. They're out.
Yeah, that's fucking
I'm not talking to you ever for the rest of my life. Stupid shit like that. I'm like, what are you doing? This conversations that we should have at the beginning, but brown people just hesitate to have these conversations.
The thing is a scam too. They're like, nahi, hum paise waste
yeah. 200-300 पा देने कहते
yeah
G-Wagon ले लूँ मैं
yeah they rather put it in a car that it only depreciates over time. It doesn't do anything.
Crazy.
Or they spend $100,000-$200,000 on these weddings and stuff like that and just throw away
money.
Don't invest in the right way.
The wedding industry,
bro. You know, like doing that. It's funny. My sister just recently got married. Right?
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. It's been a while, but still, it's still fresh. I don't get how these people are spending $200-$300. Like, unless you guys got millions on millions on millions, sure, you don't care where money comes from. But a lot of these people are picking up loans to do these weddings.
Yes.
Bro, amount of people that I know that picked up $100K loan just to be like, no kudi da biyah sahi paase karauna. He's like munde wale ki kehnage bhi like biyah changi tarah nahi karaya.
People pleasing all over again.
Man, people pleasing all over again. In our community is such a big thing. It's like, are you doing this to please your daughter's happiness or your son's happiness, or are you doing it to what people perceive you as?
Punjabiyan de vich ego bala hunda, bro. Again, loki ki kehnage talluan da tali was this how they're gonna say this about us. They're gonna think we're poor and this, bro. You have to look at your own pockets and you have to reevaluate. Like, do you want to struggle for the next 10, 20 years? Do you really think your kids are going to be able to pay off a $200,000 wedding?
Bro.
My suggestion, like, this is how I did it. My engagement, my roka, my wedding was paid in cash. I paid it in cash when I could afford to get married. That's why I scaled the businesses in the first place, to build up the cash to go ahead and do that. So that way I can buy a house and buy my cars and not struggle for the next 10 years trying to pay that off.
Right? And that's so key too, though, what you just said right there. Getting into marriage, you got to know you're financially stable to a certain extent.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't be like, bro, I'm still figuring it out. You can't. And, you know, one of the things that give us a peace of mind, you got to have a peace of mind with what we have going on. As you spoke about before, mentally, you got to know what's going on. Physically, you got to know what's going on. That puts you at peace.
Yes.
When you are at peace, then you're able to bring another person along into your life, knowing that now you're responsible for it. You know what? We got this.
Yeah.
Not being frantic, but like, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, the day after, the week after. But like, I don't know if I can do this. Now you're mentally draining yourself to a point where you shouldn't. You know?
Yeah, heck, bro. Like, on top of that, too, it's like, how can you be in the right mindset to tell your parents, be like, hey, we need to spend $150,000.
That's stupid, bro.
I was like, how?
No, if kids are asking for this, nah, y'all wrong for that.
The parents openly give it as well. Mera pota koi gal nahi, mera ladla kinne chahiye, lakh $2 lakh, I do anything for you, right?
They're innocent,
and the kids screw off afterwards.
Yeah, they're innocent. They're going to do whatever they want for the kids, man. It's just, but my thing is like, how can you allow that? How can you allow your parents to go into so much 200K into debt for the fact that they came here with nothing in their pockets, working 2-3 jobs a day? 2-3 jobs. It's like, how can you be in the right state of mind to tell your parents, like, hey, we need to be able to afford this $150,000. Let's put it on the mortgage, so on and so forth. Like, how can you do that?
It's insane. I know it's crazy to think about the kids are doing that, but it's not necessarily the kids' fault, eh?
Yeah.
I would say it's the parents' fault.
That's so true.
Oh, you want to go to this, you want to go to that, no problem here. The parents allowed their kids to live that luxurious lifestyle, so the kids didn't understand the value of $1, bro. Like, I had to work in factories at the beginning too. Jalo university jisiga my factory jaga makarda siga. And I only did that because I wanted to see how hard it was for my parents. Bro, my fucking gold day were hurting my back. That thing was hard, bro. That's when I started thinking, my mom is doing this? How's my mom doing this, bro? At that point in time, it gave me more motivation and taught you the value of $1, and then I just wanted to become rich even faster.
It's so true. I think now that has to become more and more important. Because even with my sister, like, not once she ever said, be like, yo, I want an extravagant wedding. She knows where the hardship of our parents come from. They know. When they understand that, and then they have the right morals and values instilled in by your parents, they will never go out their way to disrespect. It's pretty much like, in a way, for me, it's like you're disrespecting your parents because you're asking for something that's unrealistic.
And if you know it's unrealistic, that's
and when you know that, because you know what your parents go through, you know how much they earn, you know how much money's brought in, you know where you live in the area you are, you know how much it is, and then for a kid to be oblivious to ask for something such unrealistic, it's a slap to the face to the parents, because you're not getting any respect to them. The biggest accomplishment for them is, you know what, as long as my kid's happy. Obviously, they want to do everything, extravagant, but as long as they know you're happy and you realize what they have given you and you take that in and you turn it into something, great.
Yeah.
That gives them the greatest joy.
True.
Exactly. They don't want hundreds and thousands. They don't want to be like, yo, I want 200,000. That's not going to give them no happiness.
Yeah.
One thing my dad tells me is, I just want you to get married one day, have your own family, and just be better, place where we started from.
Exactly.
And that's it. How simplistic is that? But now we turned into this complex world where none of that even remotely makes anybody happy.
Exactly. And literally everybody watching this, if you're a young parent, we do suggest you reevaluate everything and you're going to save the rest of your life. If you don't teach your kids the value of $1, you're going to have the worst life ever. Your kids are going to overspend. You're going to be the one paying for all the expenses. So, like, let's change this generational trauma. Let's change everything. Start acknowledging how to raise your kids the right way. Don't beat your kids. Bro, don't like.
Yeah, don't
Don't abuse them, man.
Don't. They're gonna have more and more resentful.
Haunt them, but don't beat them.
They're gonna be more resentful of you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
My daddy put dua. Yeah. What are you gonna get?
But do you guys think it's a good thing that parents should be, like, cooling their jawaks? Like,
yeah.
Well, I think to a certain extent there should be a fear instilled.
There should be some sort of ass whooping.
Some sort of,
no physical. Exactly. Like my mom and dad never hit my sister, or me.
Yeah, same.
Ever.
I never got beat, to be honest.
But I always feared my mom and my dad.
Ass whooped.
Yeah, you got your ass whooped.
I got my ass whooped. I see my nephew being fucking like, he gets everything. I was like, sit your ass down. I'm gonna teach you a thing or two. I'm like, man. Now he's fucking. I mean, not afraid in a sense like he's fearful. Like I don't beat him and stuff, but I instill fear. I'm like, you better. he knows like when he does something wrong, he looks at me. He's like, I'm sorry. Like, okay,
there you go.
No, the fearful should come from the parents. Like as in from a physical aspect.
Not a physical aspect.
No, it should come from respect.
Yes,
I fear them out of respect because they're right. You know when kids know when they're right or wrong. So I think just understanding, asserting yourself in a respectful way where the kids fear you in a manner that it pushes. I mean, because a lot of the time that fear can lead them not opening up.
Yes.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say to you is you said you were Mona at the beginning.
I was, yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
So what transitioned you that? Was it your parents or your household? Or you started going to Gurdwara, like some Baba came to you, enlightened you into this world?
Give you a long ass speech.
No, because it's different. Usually it's the other way around,
it is the other way around, yeah. I see majority of kids, Sikh Sardars, they go in and cut their hair and everything too. And so for me, it was just, my wife mentioned it to me one time too. Sim, how deep is your spiritual connection with Waheguru? And I was like, not very. My family didn't really go to the Gurdwara too much. It was probably like a once a month type thing or once every 2-3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I actually haven't explored my connection with Waheguru, and I don't know what my potential would be if I were to connect with him more.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I don't know, I think I just went to sleep one day and I woke up and I was like, I just got this random urge to start growing on my daddy and then literally start tying a pug. And I was like, okay, let's try it. At the beginning, it didn't look as good as on me, right? It was kind of weird, but I just stuck to it. I stayed disciplined. And you'd be surprised at how many people told me, oh, tu ta pehla badhiya lagda siga, highlight hullert karai firda siga, earring pai firda siga, tu otthe jachda siga, tu aaki karda firda, I used to hear that nonsense all the time, and I just went against it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go through this little spiritual journey. I'm not to the end yet.
Yeah.
But at least I'm transitioning slowly, right? I'm getting to that point. And as I started doing it, the success started coming really quickly, bro. I started getting fame. I started getting my reputation blew up. And I was sitting there, I'm like, what did I even do in my business? I didn't even change anything. And I'm like, Waheguru, thank you. Then I went all in, bro. I went all in. And then everything just kind of blew up. And I just never went back. And I've always thanked Waheguru since. I think he's the one taking care of me. Wow. My wife guides me in the right direction. And he takes care of me. And that's it. Wow. I feel like now I have a bigger purpose, bro. Yeah.
What would you say to the... Because I know, well enough, we talked a lot of times. We talk about this topic so much because here, maybe in Toronto, just because there's so much more of our population of our upper in the city, right? Yeah. But we're in Edmonton, and where it's not that many people. You'll see a lot of kids that are trying to adapt more, becoming more whitewashed.
Yes.
They feel ashamed of wearing a turban, a pug. Mm-hmm. They feel like they won't be able to get the ladies and stuff like that. I know well enough for me personally, I had a huge insecurity because of it, because I was like, okay, I don't know where do I fit? Do I become more whitewashed or what do I do here? Right? So I had that battle, but then afterwards, after learning about the religion, Sikhi and everything like that, I'm a shucked in that sense, but I still understand what this means. Right? So for the kids that are kind of battling, they're in that situation, okay, what do I do? What's my purpose here? What do you say to them?
Well, you touched on a really good point, right? A lot of people are very afraid of what people are going to think. And they're like, you know what? I'm not going to get girls and this and that because I have a paggan, right? Yeah. So then I wanted to become that role model. I wanted to become that super model, that Sardar, super Sardar, That's why I post with the cars. That's why I post with the house. That's why I post with the luxury. That's why I post with everything. And I showcase that, listen, I'm a singer and I'm doing it. You can make all the money in the world. You can get whatever girl you want to, man. You can pursue whatever career path and you'll be successful. And you cutting your hair doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm just trying to go ahead and instill a sense of confidence in this new generation that's coming up. And I think I've changed a lot of people's lives already.
Wow. And
yeah, man, the more I push, the more people are going to change, the more confident they become, the more successful they'll become. And yeah, sorry, going back to your question, what was it again? Kind of went off track there.
No. I kind of lost my track too.
You kind of hit it on the head. You saying talk about just be confident in who you are.
Yes,
wearing a plug is not going to change.
Yeah.
It's not going to change.
Growing up, like, you know, in Brampton, if I were to think about the Sardar role models, who did we really have? We had like Jasarain. The comedians and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
What did we really have? And then we got Nav Bhatia eventually. I'm like, okay. But he wasn't posting that type of content to go and educate and give tips and tricks and teach people how to grow everything. That's why I wanted to be that guy. The things that I drop, bro, it's like worth thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I drop it for free as much as possible, as many tips and tricks, so I can scale as many people as possible with me. So that way at the end we can all drive the Lamborghinis and Ferraris and live the lives, bro.
Hey man,
heck, bro, like the conversations we have, man. It's just like even Amber and I, we both get messages from younger kids, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's like, man, I don't want anything really from it. Like for us, it was just like we want to talk to the younger audience in a sense of like we're talking to our younger self.
Preach, yeah.
We didn't really have mentors growing up. Like I didn't know Amber. Like we played basketball once in a league. After that, we just stayed connected, and all of a sudden we're like, yo, you want to start a podcast?
No way.
Yeah, because
I was friends with his sister because we went to school together.
We went to the same university, and then it's funny, the reason when you started podcast, I hit him up. I'm like, bro, let's just start it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't know. He's like, let's start it next year. I'm like, bro, nah, start it now. It doesn't go right. It doesn't go right. Who cares?
Very good.
And then we just started it. I'm like, from there, it's been positive outlook on life and how we have grown and how we have met people like yourself, many other guests. It has opened the world to me as well. I'm like, man, it's really about just getting out there and getting what's yours. Exactly. Ain't nothing stopping you. Ain't someone who's watching this, ain't nothing stopping them from even starting their own podcast or starting their own, getting your real estate license or anything. It doesn't cost much. We waste money on bullshit anyways.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So, and you know, one thing I do want to talk about, you know, yourself is carrying yourself like in a confidence.
Yeah.
So what I mean by confidence is how do you put yourself out there in a way where you feel confidence? Now, a lot of the time, man, the way people dress is like, it's like hooliganism, man. I swear, baggy stuff, like there's one sprinkly shirt that says Boss or like Dior, like that doesn't instill confidence. That just instills fuckery, I swear. People don't realize how that will impact the doors you walk into. You know, you have met a lot of people with influential, you know, backgrounds. How would you say meeting those people and how that kind of changed your perception about how you carry yourself or how you walk in a room and the way you talk or when you kind of scale back when not to talk, you know, because you probably have those talks with yourselves, right? So how do you navigate those doors and rooms and talks?
So there's different levels to it. I'll tell you this, when you're kind of in like the beginning stages of entrepreneurship and you're talking to like the lower and the middle class people, your physical appearance matters a lot. The watches that you wear, if you're wearing Rolexes and custom suits and branded items, this attracts a lot of people in the lower and the middle class. But recently, I've been understanding that the people who are worth 50 million and plus, these guys don't give a shit about the cars that I drive, about the houses that I live in. They like the way that I speak and the way that I express myself and the knowledge that I have. And the only reason that those guys are investing into me is because they see that I have potential, not because of the clothes that I wear. So, again, you have different phases in life, right? When you're first starting off, improve your physical appearance. Later on, it doesn't matter as much. You can continue looking good if it makes you feel good and you do good, but it's not necessary. At the end of the day, it's that acquisition of skill sets that puts you even further in life, right?
It's so key. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. At the beginning, if we're wearing baggy shirts and all that, and you're just a startup and you're trying to get clients, they're gonna be like, "Who the hell is this for?"
Right?
No, it's true.
No, it's so true.
There's one guy that I watch. His name is Alex Hermosi. He always comes on YouTube with a banana on. What the nose strip and everything. If he is able to make, I don't know how much he makes, $20-30 million per year, and he's worth 140-200 million probably already. And he's 32 years old already.
Young.
32.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's young.
Making that type of money, wearing a banana on YouTube and all that. That doesn't really matter. Right? This physical appearance stuff is for people who judge you at the beginning, which is usually lower to middle class. Afterwards, it doesn't really matter. It's what you know.
I think it's, and what you heard with even Alex Hermosi is the way he articulates himself.
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand how important that is.
Correct. Look at the way that we're speaking right now. Are we saying, yo, we should do like this? We don't talk like that. We have clear, concise sentences. We know how to speak. We take pauses in between too. We don't say,
It's so true, bro. Because like people don't realize the importance of that. Because like the way, imagine if you walked into a room, someone overheard you.
Yes.
They'd be like, yo, who is that? It catches an eye. Compared to someone, as you said, be like, yo, buddy, like, kalu uttayana, like, you know, like, speaking like. No, it's so we're meeting more people. Like, people they think that's cool.
Yeah.
People that think that's gangster, like, yo, I'm making something out of myself. Yeah, maybe like a clown out of yourself. Sure.
You know why they think it's cool? Because the people that they chill with talk the same way, bro.
Yeah.
So they want to become a multi-millionaire, but their boys are saying, yo, this and that, yo, takade koi gani. They talk with that slang. So they think it's okay. They think it's normal.
Yeah.
So you got to go ahead and like kind of change your thermostat to the higher class. You got to start chilling with those type of people so that way you can adopt the different habits.
Yeah. What did that change for you? Because you said when you were growing up earlier, you were like in the mindset, but like, oh, you're that
gangster,
someone
this and that, super fights.
What did that change for you then? You know, because a lot of kids probably go that through currently stage right now. Someone who is, let's say, who's 15 or 16 or even 14 that's going through that stage. We think right now is fitting in is cool.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'm being this,
I think it was for me. It was when I went to university. I wasn't chilling with people my age. All of the people in my program, for some reason, I resonated with the guys who were a little bit older. They were literally like 24, 25 years old in the same program as me in kinesiology. And when you sit down with those people, they've gone through those party phases, like those stupid drug phases and chasing girls and this and that.
Yeah.
So they speak differently.
Yeah.
And as I was chilling with them, I just started adopting their tongue. I started adopting the way that they speak. Mm-hmm. And through that, I kind of just changed. And I saw the difference in the way I was speaking in Punjabi, the way I was speaking in English. If I had clear, concise sentences and I knew what I was articulating, people took me more seriously.
Yep.
The second that I would throw a little bit of slang in there, they'd be like, "Ita jawaka, inu ki pata? Kala da munda aaya, ek kira mainu ghar bech duga," this and that, right? It's real, bro. It happens all the time.
It is. It's so true.
Speak,
Like you were saying, how do you build your confidence? Speak properly. Maintain eye contact. Khulli chhati karke. Don't sit like this. She's like a little girl, right? Can't do that, man.
Well, even just not only just speaking properly, but how you react to someone's conversation.
Yes.
Because like well enough in apne community, like shitti garm ho jande.
Yes.
Once say one thing, man, they go right after you, start shit. It's like
people are aggressive.
Yeah.
Punjabis are aggressive.
Yeah.
Well,
it's in our blood. It's in our blood. We're warriors.
It is. Yeah.
You know what the funniest
warrior
thing
breed.
Is?
Yeah.
You know what the funniest thing is? How many times I have seen like firsthand in my parents, like someone's talking to them and they just start telling their own story. Bro, I'm like, Mom, they're telling you a story. Yeah. She's like, oh, she's not bothered by it. It's so true. Like a lot of people be just starting their own,
their own conversation. You'd be surprised. A lot of Punjabi parents, they have a listening problem.
Yeah, they do.
Ek cheez kehni hai, oh satwan banda ki karda se, wo karda. They start talking about random ass shit.
Yeah.
And that's why kids don't have a deeper connection with their parents either, because your parents don't listen, bro, in the first place.
Yeah. Like as we're kind of winding down this podcast, I think we kind of touched upon a lot of great things, man. Like a lot of great things. Even one thing I do want to get in, last thing I want to touch up in depth is more on the investment side.
Sure.
Because that's the one thing I do want to push out to the audience is more tips and tricks. Obviously, you have your, Sim the Realtor page where you give out probably like hundreds and thousands worth of things that could probably accumulate to them, getting X amount of money. What's one thing? Let's say, let's put myself in a position. Let's say I have saved up roughly close to, let's say, 50, 60,000, and I'm into housing or flipping or renting.
Yeah.
What would you say someone who has saved up like even a small amount of money like that, what would be the first step you would tell them? Be like, okay, this is something that's a viable option given how much you have saved up.
With what I know right now, if you had $50,000, $60,000, I would tell you to jump into forms of real estate that make you the highest cash flows as fast as possible. It would probably be the rental arbitrage model where you rent out a property, re-rent out Airbnb so you can make the immediate cash flows. Yeah. The ROI is phenomenal. It's like 30-40%.
Yeah.
You can't even get that anywhere else.
Nope.
If you can buy a property, then do the first-time home buyer's incentive. Get 5 to 10% down payment on a property. Pick it up for $400,000 to $500,000. Go in, do the renovations, and flip that home. Don't buy it and hold it for long term, 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll be worth $600,000 in 30 years, but kal da koi pata nahi hota, right? Take the property, renovate the property, flip it. You'll make a quick $40,000, $50,000. Do it again until you have a stack of about $400,000 to $500,000. Now you have a good amount. Invest into businesses right off the bat in yourself. Okay. When I first started off, I was always about picking up assets. But the thing is, it takes you way too long to pick up so many assets. How the hell can you keep coming up with $120,000 to keep buying properties?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, right? That's why I went down the business route. Because I could take a business. Like, I'll give you an example. My property management company. I don't need an office. I don't need anything.
Everything's remote.
Everything's remote. Yeah. And I can scale that company to literally $50,000 to $100,000 per month. I can scale any business to $50,000 to $100,000 per month. Mm-hmm. You can't do that with a single property, can you? You can't. So invest into business, scale your cash flows to $50,000 to $100,000 a month as soon as you possibly can. If you don't know how to, it's so easy. Just chat GPT it. How to scale it, give me an in-depth guide, blah, blah, blah. It gives you a whole game plan.
Yeah.
once you have enough money, stack up your money, you can buy some properties, buy some more businesses, buy your luxuries, live your life. That's pretty much it.
No, that's perfectly put, man. I think these are small little gems you can all be found on your page as well. These you put them out there so much. So, you know, I encourage people to go on your page, man.
There you go. Thank you. You mentioned one more thing, bro. I want to tell everybody.
Oh, go ahead.
You mentioned at the beginning that you guys connected and you told him instead of next year, started right now.
Yeah.
Bro, literally, Vaheguru probably put him in your life for a certain reason because when it comes to a business, everybody has ideas. Right?
Yeah.
But people's timelines to start take way too long. The people who are the most successful are not the smartest people, not the A++ kids. It's the guys who take a second to start the business that they thought of.
Who execute.
If you shorten the execution time period, you're gonna be successful.
Yeah.
That's so true, man.
That's all you need to do. Just start.
Yeah.
Stop overthinking everything.
I think also this is kind of branching off of what you were saying about, we were talking about earlier about mortgage, something that I had in my mind before. And we were talking about debt.
Yes.
You know, there's two different aspects of what good debt is and what bad debt is.
Yeah.
Right? What are you using your money on? So if bad debt will be like something, let's say at an early age that you're spending money on something that depreciates way too much.
Correct. Yeah.
Versus to where you're established now and you could buy those type of cars, luxury vehicles, whatever it is, and you can utilize that depreciation as tax write-offs in a sense.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So it goes a little bit more in depth in regards to that. But I wanted to, get your aspect on like the people that do have X amount of millions of dollars of properties, and then people look at them and like, oh, this guy is driving a fancy car. He has some sort of, it's probably his parents' money or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas at the back end, you're just like, okay, you have a bunch of property. You just utilize the amount of cash flow towards depreciating, utilizing the depreciating value of those liabilities in the right way.
Yeah.
So I want to get your bit of an aspect in regards to that though.
Yeah, there's good debt and there's bad debt, but sometimes you can make the bad debt into good debt. Like, you know how I have the G-Wagon, I have the BMW?
Yeah.
If I'm ever gone on vacation for, say, 1 to 2 months, if I really wanted to convert that bad debt to a good debt, all I really need to do is put on Turo. Now, my bad debt is making me cash flows. The G-Wagon here rented on Turo in the Niagara Falls region for like $5,000 on a monthly basis. The M850i makes me like $3,000 on a monthly basis. So is it really a bad debt? No, I'm enjoying my life. I'm driving my cars when I want to drive my cars. I have a bunch of properties. I got a bunch of Airbnbs. Yes, they're vacant here and there, but listen, I can go and check out the properties whenever I want to, and I can keep renting them on Airbnb as well. Businesses are all running. Like, you have to try your best to, at the beginning, try to avoid bad debt as much as possible. Take on the good debt. Build up your cash flows to a monstrous amount. And when your assets can pay for your liabilities in full then go ahead and buy them.
Yep. That's key.
Maintain that.
Yeah.
If you start putting your active income towards the liabilities, you're going to screw yourself.
Because that's what we see with kids nowadays, right? It's just like,
oh, yeah.
They're fucking buying these BMWs. They don't have any cash flow. They're fucking, they're like, मेरे को BMW है क्या, तेरे को किया.
It's not going to last long, man. Short-term.
Then they're crying in the background. They can't even pay for insurance.
Exactly, no. But majority of the guys, going back to the point where you said that people put up a front to showcase to the woman, to other people that, yo, मैं कुछ बनया. कहने भी मुंडे कोले BMW हैगी होना. But yeah, like, he's making lots of money, this and that. People are people pleasers. But at the end, that's only going to last for 2 to 3 years, and then you're at the bottom again. They have to restart, right?
Yeah.
That's so
just be smart. Don't be a people pleaser.
Yep.
Invest into yourself. Make monstrous amounts of money. Live your life. Be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Find the dream girl. She's going to come right into your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, I think it's beautifully said. I think we kind of touched up on everything we wanted to. You articulated it perfectly, man. People out there just, man, go out, get it. There's no reason for you to not get it. Sim's a perfect example. Even the age you're at, it's nothing, man. It's literally nothing. You're so young, like 29. Even like people that are in the 30s, like even people in the 40s, like don't overthink like how old you are is is a determining factor of how where you are going to be tomorrow or the day after or the year after. Don't look at that. Don't look at your age. Oh, I'm 33. I haven't done shit. Or 34 or 35. Don't look at that. Age is just a number. Just have that mindset that's correct and
just get started, right? Don't wait. Like we're starting stuff. Heck, we don't even know where our other podcasts are going to take us, our own business is going to take up. It's a matter of like how you pivot and make sure you just achieve every goal that you can along the way. So,
On that note, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast, man. I appreciate Sam for coming. Thank you for taking the time, man.
Thank you guys.
I know you're busy, so thank you for the time and having the talk with us. And hopefully the audience perceived it the manner that we thought it was a good talk. So If you guys have any questions, leave it in the link in the bio and make sure y'all hit the subscribe and
subscribe, man. Like
I don't
see you guys showing us support.
It's gonna shoot up, man. So thank y'all for tuning in and peace.
See ya.
Later.